This is going to be a video about how to fabricate a tomatological and cheesological toastism. So before I get into the metaphysical realm of the quantitative and the qualitative, I would like to talk about the empiricism of the Cartesian dialectic along the lines of utilitarian ethical perspective. My name is KEEF, SPUDZ, and I hope you're going to ontologically enjoy this very worthwhile and existential, aesthetically pleasing presentation. So, getting into the current metaphysical and materialist Chinese situation which is taking place in the physical confines of the nation that we call China. A lot of people out there, a lot of grug brains, they, from a metaphysical perspective, they try to say disagreeably metaphysical things about modern China. I would like to take a different metaphysical tact, taking into account the ontological approach. China is providing a lot of positive and ethical determinist elements in the global situation, and it should not be, it should not be run down by the, the literal and the ontological grug brains. I'd also like to say to people out there, to the Zoomers, that porn is not good for the cerebellum, the materialist cerebellum, and I believe that you should look for other ontological alternatives to pornographic material. For example, I went on a date last week with a female human being, a female human being, and she, I met her consequentially, I met her at Vegans Anonymous. So we haven't, literally, we, kind of, sort of, qualitative. We haven't really kicked the vegan habit. We're still, out and out vegans. And actually, we went to a restaurant on our date, and I got into a kind of dialectical argumentation with the boss of the restaurant, because I happened to leave a materialist floater in the bowl, in the the physical and the qualitatively quantitative toilet. So I'll show you. Here's a photo of the floater I left in the toilet of the restaurant. So what I'm saying about avoiding the Zoomers, the qualitative, quantitative Zoomers, avoiding the, the pornographic and axiomatic and rationalistic from the Cartesian perspective and the lens of the ontological approach, pornography, the best way to avoid it is to look for alternatives. So in my case, for example, I, animalistically and animistically, and functionality, taking into account functionality and the, the ongoing onslaught of the epistemological approach, I decided prior to going on my qualitative, quantitative date with the female human being that I met at Vegans Anonymous, I decided to put myself in the mood, to put myself in the hormonal and sexually pleasing mode prior to going out and meeting her in the town square before heading to the literal and the materialist restaurant. I decided to put myself in the mood by watching, watching video footage from the the modern day and contemporaneous China. So basically, I kind of sort of watched the police, kind of materialistically, beating to a bloody pulp citizens, you know. What really, you know, made me very excited was the, you know, the materialist vision coming from the footage of an elderly woman being thrown into a little doggy cage by the police. That really made me very excited. Qualitatively excited, but not just qualitatively excited. Not just qualitatively excited, guys, but also quantitatively along the Cartesian lines excited. So kind of, sort of, very happy. And then I got even more, literally excited, literally quantitatively, qualitatively excited when I saw 7 policemen beating to death a dog on the street. They beat him with batons, and you could actually literally hear the canine, not I prefer to say canine, the quantitative canine yelping his final yelps on the street in China before he was flattened into a pancake. Metaphysical, not just metaphysical, but a literal materialist pancake. Speaking of pancakes, I want to move on to the main thrust, the metallurgical and epistemologically, qualitatively quantitative thrust of this video, which is about how to fabricate a tomatological and homological toastism. So first and foremost, you must go for a perambulation, an ontological perambulation to the kitchenism. Once you are inside the kitchenism, you go to the sandwich makerism, you plug in the sandwich makerism, and you wait approximately 25 to 30 seconds for the sandwich makerism to accelerate along the Cartesian, sort of Heideggerian temperature. You then proceed to put lightly butterological slices of bread onto the sandwich makerism. After that, you can add some homological, tomatological, and even cheeseological ingredients to the sandwichism, which is now across and somewhat inside the interior of the sandwich makerism. So guys, I hope that helps, and that will help you with the fabrication, the qualitative, quantitative fabrication of a cheeseological, homological, and perhaps even tomatological toastism fabricated with the sandwich makerism in the confines, the relative confines of the materialist kitchenism. I am your host, KEEF SPUDZ. I hope this video has been interesting for you along the Hobbesian material plane, going across various dimensions of word saladism. I hope this has been worthwhile for you, and if you could please show your gratitude by simply and ontologically, qualitatively, quantitatively giving the thumbs upism along with the shareism amongst the other grug brains, to make them slightly less materialistically and metaphorically and all the rest of it, qualitatively, quantitatively, make them less grug brainiest, and therefore there will be less grug brains and more intellectuals along the intellectualism. Now I am now going to, I now have time to kill. I'm going on another date with that girl from Vegans Anonymous. So before I wish you a qualitative farewell, I would like to sorry, I fell asleep. Very sorry about that. That's not because I bored myself to the literal and kind of sort of epistemological sleep, ontological sleep. No, it's down solely to the vegan dietism, veganological dietism. Okay, I wish you a farewellism until soonism, and and don't forget to give that like to the video, a qualitative, quantitative like, for the philosophical insights of KEEF SPUDZ.